All right, we're just about a month away from the NFL draft. We got about 97 mock drafts going down. I can't even keep up. This
We're doing one on this show. You don't know it, not today, obviously, but we are going to do a top 15 mock draft.
Okay, but I would like to put some money on it because I like to be right. And I know how much you like to gamble. So
No, because like I'm going to look into it. I'm going to do my research, but you're going to spend days and days and days and days and talk to people and know stuff that I don't know.
Oh, that's
so
a
you're
good
going to win
point.
the money.
That's like insider
That's not
trading.
fair.
You're
Yeah.
right. Okay,
I would
that's
lose
fair.
all my money.
Good point. All right, we'll do a fun mock draft. But it's funny, every time I read a mock draft, the new one comes out. I'm like, wait, I just finished it. You know?
So true.
Like, there's so many of them, which, fans love it. It is really fun. I do love this time of year only because it's basically just smokescreen, rumor season, which it is really hard when you're talking to teams right now to get the truth. It is. I will admit that. And I mean, I'm talking to people that I've known for 15 years, and I sometimes can't get them to just tell me what position they're even doing, nevertheless, who they're taking.
People are crazy around draft time.
They are.
Like,
And it's
these
just going to get
teams
wilder.
lie. And
Oh, yes.
these insiders lie for the teams.
Don't you dare to put
And
that attitude at me. I don't do it.
I didn't say, did I say you? Don't get all sensitive.
I did have someone I trust with my life lie to me last draft.
Exactly. I mean, it's
Like,
known.
and he called me the next morning on his way
see?
into the facility and was like, Di, I am so sorry. I'm like, I didn't report it. Thank God. But you're a liar. It worked out for a month. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Cam Ward is the go number one. What do you think? Just
Yes.
base that. I want to just get your thought.
Yeah,
you think
100%.
so?
I like it. And the pro day was great, icing on the top. But I think this has been leaning toward Cam Ward for a long time. And if you just purely watch his film, is he the best overall player? No. Okay, I think that's Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. However, he is a really, really good quarterback, and that is what the Titans need right now. I think it would be not smart to pass up on him. And the thing that makes him special, because you're like the way I see the quarterback draft, we haven't really got into this, but we'll just a little bit. Like I see it's Cam Ward above everyone. And I feel like then it's Shador Jackson drop down, and then it's like everyone else. Jackson Dart, sorry. And so when I do that, and I'm like, okay, so Cam's like clearly, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, the number one. He can just do a lot of things that a lot of these other quarterbacks in this class can't. And when you look at the most pro-ready and can get in and out of binds, I believe it's Cam Ward. Like the way he drops his arm angles on some of these RPOs, which are run-pass options, it just gives you like an idea of like what the Tennessee Titans are probably going to do offensively, because I don't think Cam Ward's ever going to be a guy that you put under center and go, hey, play action, heavy, like half-field reads. He's more of a fill-it-out guy. Now, I will say, like for all the good stuff, he's over-aggressive, and I think that over-aggressiveness sometimes can come back and bite you in the butt a little bit, because he does throw some interceptions. You're like, but everyone sees those plays that Patrick Mahomes made popular, right? You're running left, you're running right, you spin out, you throw a dime, and you're like, where in the world did that just come from? So I think his ceiling, the reason why I have him as number one and above, his ceiling is a lot higher than the rest of these quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah, and I do think your opinion is shared around the league. I think that's very similar to what I'm hearing. I don't have anyone telling me right now that there's another quarterback better than Cam Ward at this point. That could change, of course. But, we go back to last year where I heard Caleb Williams was one. I heard Jaden Daniels was one, right? Like
that was close for me too, because a lot of people were like, oh, Caleb, generational talent. But Jaden was right up there in conversations with teams too.
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't out as much as I remember.
No, for sure.
I remember knowing it because I was talking to people and thinking, this, I don't think people know this. Like that.
Well,
so
I think
many
the hype
teams
surrounding Caleb was so much that there was some stuff out there, but it just never got reported because they're Caleb Williams, generational, first thing since Trevor Lawrence, last thing since Andrew Luck. And I was just like, okay. Like, I can see where teams have Jaden, though.
Well, the Browns and the Titans, they held private workouts with Cam Ward. Real quick, before we move on to Abdul Carter, in those private workouts, what are you getting or seeing individually compared to what we're seeing at their pro days?
Yeah, it's so much different than the pro days. The pro days, the quarterback and the quarterback's private quarterback coach, they script the play. So the 60 throws that Cam Ward had or 50 throws that Cam Ward had, it's all scripted. They practice it all summer or all spring. So they're used to it. They know exactly what they're doing. Play 5. This is the play. Your receivers are on this. In the private workouts, and I think this is probably the best, most realistic option for teams, the teams will put you through a workout so you can get your hands on the quarterback. Here's Brian Callahan saying, we run this play. Call it, do it. Let's see your footwork. We teach it this way versus that. So the teams are actually running those. And you heard here on Scoop City, right? We interviewed Sean Payton. And Sean Payton, remember famously telling us, we knew in the private workout throw 16 that Bo Nix was our guy no matter what. I imagine this is exactly what Brian Callahan was so giddy about. Like, hey, we might have known in throw 5 that Cam Ward is our guy. So I do think it gives a little bit more intimate setting. There's none of these cameras. It's just let's go to work, me, you, quarterback coach, OC, receive, like all this stuff. And I think it's really, really good. I think it's a lot better and more realistic option on like what a quarterback will look like in your system.
Yeah, that sounds like more of a true audition.
100%.
You are being put
100%.
to the test.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of it mental, some of it physical, probably more mental than anything, right?
It's a lot of mental. And that's the thing too. That's a great point by you. They give you like a script.
Oh yeah, remember Sean told us the night before. He emailed it.
We're going to give you everything. We're going to give you 55 plays. You better study it. We're only going to run 2 of them, but you better be able to get up on that board. You better be able to get on that field and show me you know and you studied.
God, I'm sweating thinking
about it. It's the best open book test ever. People who fail it are idiots.
Wait. Oh, I guess it's open book because
you can study it. You know it. Just study it.
Okay, but you can't.
There's so many people that.
Right.
Diana, do you know how many people just are like, I don't care. I'm just gonna wing it. Like, study the plays. Go out. Oh, you'd be surprised on some of the stories I've heard from some of these quarterback coaches. Just not
How
caring.
could you show up and not know the plays of the team that just gave you the book?
I could never.
I would vomit. The nerves would just.
It's very nerve-wracking.
Preparation is the best way to have the confidence. And
preparation breeds confidence. That's the thing I live by.
It's a poster I have in my room. Abdul Carter tweeted, "Don't let all this quarterback need talk fool y'all. It's already known who's the best, and no quarterback is in that discussion. Like I said, the best player goes number 1. Do you think he should go number 1?
I mean, look, he absolutely, like I said, he's the best player in this draft. He is one of the few, truly, like, it's not just because they wore number 11, not just because they went to Penn State. I truly think, like, his ceiling could be around Micah Parsons. Like, he's that type of edge rusher. I don't know if he can play as many positions as Micah can, like he did coming out, but supposedly he's going to run a 4.3, right? But he's not running at his pro day. Like, he is one of those pure, true pass rushers who can cause and wreak havoc on the edge and get the ball out of the quarterback's hands. True game-changing plays. If it wasn't the Titans and the Titans didn't need a quarterback, he would absolutely go number 1.
Oh, for sure. And that's how this affects where these players go. It's just the need and truthfully desperation for some of these teams. So, during the combine, we talked all about his ankle injuries. And I think there were a lot of questions when that first came out. I'm not getting any sense around the league that is an issue in terms of his evaluation. And you and I even discussed it when it happened, and you blew it off quicker than I did. And, talking to teams, it just didn't seem like it was going to be something that people were going to hold against him. So he's not going to work out, but he's going to let them measure him. When a player chooses not to work out, how does that benefit them? Is it because his stock is as high as it's going to be?
He knows he's going number 1 and number 2. Okay. What's he working out for?
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
All right. How about Travis Hunter? Okay. We know the two-way player. We joked a little bit. Well, we didn't really joke about it, but we just pointed out how the Titans and the Browns saw him so differently. When they spoke at the combine, one as a receiver, one, as a back, as a corner. So in terms of the interest in Travis Hunter, I had one team say to me they'd be shocked if he was still available after 4. Like, he's got potential to go. But again, it's this time of year where I also have heard, they could see him falling a little bit. We don't know. We do not know how this is going to play. But my question is going to be, what would the Giants do if they make a decision at 3? Oh, man. You know, if they're like, okay, we're good at quarterback with these veterans. We're going to wait till next year. And they're up at 3. Let's say Tennessee takes Cam.
Cleveland takes Abdul.
Takes Abdul. Which, let's be clear, the Titans are getting phone calls from a lot of teams to move up. Like, there's no, I expect them to call. They have called already. People are calling. That's all happening. It's happened. It happened during the combine. It's still happening. Where it's a little bit of a back and forth of what would it take? Would it look like this? No. How about this? No. Right? But they're answering. So that tells me that they're not completely locked in.
What would it take?
I think it has to be something where they feel they're set up for a very long time in terms of picks. I don't know what would make them go, this is an absolute win-win.
A player in 3 first rounds, a player in 2 first rounders.
Yeah, that player better be a quarterback.
Oh, well, I don't know. Kirk Cousins still out there.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because that is kind of floating around still because it's going to until probably after the draft once it all settles and then we see which teams are still desperate because that's what's going to wind up happening. Someone's going to be left out of this dance. Someone's still going to be searching for an answer at quarterback or at least a better answer, right? They'll fill it. So I do think Kirk Cousins will wind up landing somewhere. It's just we don't know yet. We got to wait for a couple.
Well, I think the best fit would be the Browns if they don't draft a quarterback, right? But let's get back to Travis Hunter. You're saying Ward goes 1, Cam Ward goes 1 to the Tennessee. Let's just say for fun that Shedeur goes 2 to Browns.
Yep.
I think the Giants, do they take and add to their defensive line or do they take Travis Hunter? I think it depends on where they see Travis at. Do you see Travis Hunter at a receiver, which they already have, or do you see he can play both ways? If you see he can play both ways, I think it's easily Travis Hunter. But then in what world does Abdul Carter drop to 4? There's no way.
No way. You know, Chase, it's that time of year, too, where you're starting to hear about different teams that are hot on certain guys, where they are calling to see if they can move up. I've heard Jerry really likes Travis Hunter. So
no way.
That's a very Dallas Cowboy move, right? Don't you think?
They're going to have to give up the farm for a cornerback? They're drafting 12.
Just because they like them doesn't mean they're going to do it. But
draft his next prime, huh?
You never know.
Wow.
I'm interested to see if Cleveland's going to be willing to trade out. If they'd be willing to collect some picks here. Do you think that they need to make a move there too? Do you think they're at that point where they have to do this right now? Again,
I don't think so. I thought about, because I saw a couple reports here and there, like, Cleveland's looking to trade back. It's like how far back, and then if somebody's coming up to 2, it better damn near be for a quarterback. You're not moving all this way up for Abdul Carter, right? Then
or Travis Hunter.
You need to think like, who wants a quarterback that's not going to be there? You're probably not moving up for Jackson Dart, but there's no, I don't know. To me, the teams that need quarterbacks, Jets, could use a quarterback and they could sit. Saints need a quarterback, could sit. Raiders need a quarterback, could sit. I don't see any of those teams moving up. The Browns are in a little bit of a lose-lose situation. I say a lose-lose. You pair you pair freaking Abdul Carter with Myles Garrett. You got a really good defensive line.
Yes.
It's an interesting situation for the Browns.
Thanks for tuning into Scoop City. If you want to hear more, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop our new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.